Welcome Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Season 1 of the Hulu original, The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale is an updated version of the story told in the book of the same name, and it tells the story of a not-so-distant future where a totalitarian theocracy has overthrown the government of the United States, so most of the United States is now ruled by this very oppressive government that very literally enforces rules from the Bible. This is only happening in the United States, but the entire world, or at least parts of it that we know of, are affected by a plague of extremely low birth rates. Most women can't have children anymore, lots of men are suspected to be sterile, and this is a part of what started this revolution in the United States. The women in the US who can have children are rounded up and assigned to the houses of high-ranking members of this new government, where their function is to essentially have babies with these men. These women are given the titles of handmaids, and this is their story. This is one of the most powerful shows I've watched lately. This might be one of the most powerful shows I've ever watched. It is terrifying. It's one of those shows that you watch and you kind of think, this can never actually happen, right? Right? And the scary thing is that it can, and it has in certain places in the world. This show never feels as far-fetched as you might think just hearing me talking about the premise or watching the trailer. It's clearly a fictional story, but it doesn't feel like watching science fiction. And the whole effect created by this show could have been easily broken if they went too far on anything, but they're always right on that line. And this show has fantastic writing and it looks amazing and all of that, but Elizabeth Moss is so frighteningly good in this show that it makes it kind of disturbing to watch, because she's real. She's a real person. She's us. And the people around her are the evolution of a certain type of person we see today. This show uses a lot of internal monologues from the perspective of the main character. And this isn't so much narration, it's more like her thoughts and memories. I'm usually not a fan of voiceovers in storytelling, but it's so good here because it's always an insight into her character and her world. It's not like in Narcos, for example, which is a very good show, but it's way too heavy on the voiceovers. You want them to stop telling you everything and just show you the story. Anyway, the voiceovers here are fantastic and fit into the show beautifully. While there's a clear distinction in this show between protagonist and antagonist, good and bad, the story is way more complicated than that. And I'm not going to get into spoilers here, but a good example of that is that they show you that the new government has reduced carbon emissions and they use more solar power. Generally, they're better for the environment and they do their part in cleaning up the planet much better than previous US governments. So while one episode will horrify you with how cruel something like this could be, another episode will make you think, well, is it all bad? And then another episode will be like, yes, this is very bad. This is not worth it. And then another episode will be like, is it though? And then, yes, definitely, holy shit. What I'm saying is that this show doesn't just show you one side of something, and it makes everything so much more interesting. Going into this, keep in mind that this is not an easy show to watch. I mean, it's super watchable and you're gonna binge watch the hell out of this show, and it's not an all violence all the time type of show, but it can be, and often is, disturbing. Most shows have this barrier of being fiction and being a TV show, and you feel that as you're watching. So even if something completely horrible happens, it just feels like a moment in a TV show. And it might have some impact on you because you feel connected to the story and the characters, but the barrier between you and the story is still there. For me, and I'm pretty sure that for my wife as well, this show just doesn't have that barrier. Just before I started watching this show, I saw this heartbreaking speech by this young girl who escaped from North Korea, and she told about her life there and the things she had to go through and suffer through at a very young age, and the terrible, terrible reality people in general and women specifically have to live through in North Korea. And then I started watching The Handmaid's Tale, and maybe that's why it hit me so hard, because while the story is very different, it's not very far from the reality some people have to live through. So this show gets you thinking about those types of things. So depending on who you are, this is very much not a casual watch. I feel that if I continue talking about this show, I'm gonna get into spoilers, so I'm gonna stop here and say, bottom line, should you watch it? Yes, watch this show with all of your face. This is one of the best shows I've watched recently. It's extremely powerful, it's terrifying, it has a beautiful performance from Elizabeth Moss, and it's just an incredibly made show. And the music in this show is awesome. It contributes so much to the atmosphere and the feeling of the show. What about you? Have you watched The Handmaid's Tale, or have you read the book? What are your thoughts about it? Also, have you watched any of the other Hulu originals? Put all of your thoughts in the comments down below and let's get the discussion going. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram and TV Time. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging, and I will see you next time.